In this tutorial, you'll learn how to access the new features in eCase 3.0.
So under cases and notes, you're going to see a big change in the user interface here. So your search is now in a modal. It's not on the screen in a collapsible panel. We can do a couple of things here. You know, I could do a search by region and county. I could do it by location. So notice I can pull my list up. It looks very similar to what you're used to seeing in 2.0. Notice all of my search criteria went into my widget. So again, if you are a multi-location company, I could get rid of the location. It redoes my search. I could get rid of the county. It redoes my search. I went from 7 cases to 37 cases. I can come in here and say, hey, let me look for all of my wrap cases this way. Notice it brought up wrap and hoteling. I can look at 71B. I can do anything. Hold on just one second. I'm reading. Reading what one of the questions are. Hey, for the moderators, if it's questions that you feel I need to be interrupted on, please interrupt me, and I'll go ahead and stop and talk about it. The moderators are asking me to reiterate. In the Q&A section, you can check the archived section. I think there's an archive button that shows, because they're answering the questions and then they're archiving them so they fall off the screen. And then the other question was, yes, your data from 2.0 and 3.0, it's not really transferring, it's the same data. So 2.0 and 3.0 are both looking at the same database. So if you enter a case in 3.0, that case is in 2.0. If you make a change to a case in 2.0, that change is going to be reflected in 3.0. So sorry, I didn't specify and clear that up earlier. So back here, what we're going to do, notice you have all your filtering, you have your column header sorting, you've got your paging. We are going to come in and we are going to clear this out, and we're just going to look for a specific case. So case 25 is the case that we have set up for demo today. You can see we still have the name, the ID, the staff, all the clients and the children, the case manager, the services, etc. Everything here is the same. You're still going to get your red bell over here if you have alerts, you know, all the same functions. You do have an action menu here where you can print, you can copy, you can open this in a new tab, look at the history. We're just going to go ahead and open it right here. So notice that our breadcrumb, it says, hey, we went from cases to case number 25. So as we walk through the case all the way out to the note level, it's going to give you your date of service. What we've done here to clean this screen up is we've organized all the demographic data under one header bar, and then we moved the case manager information and the supervisor under another header. We moved your staff over to the right, and the family members are now listed down here. We're not showing the details of the family members like we did on the screen before, but they are just in a modal. This is another one of those things we did to make it a little more mobile friendly, to cut down on how much data we were pulling back to the screen. And so anytime you need to get to that, you can just simply pop it up from there. We have a new filter. I don't think we put this in 2.0. A lot of you have cases that are open for a lengthy amount of time, and you have a lot of people come in and out of those cases. Well, that list can get pretty long. So now you can just switch back and forth between who is active and who is inactive on a case. So I could easily take and deactivate somebody, and notice they got removed from the list. I could easily come in and reactivate that same person and move them right back to the active side. So very simple to deactivate. And you can delete someone off of a case as long as they don't have any notes. As soon as they have notes on a case, they can only be deactivated. They can't be deleted. So this is the new cleaner version of the main case page. I will say too that one thing we did to make it faster is in 2.0, we would have loaded the data for every one of these tabs. Well, now these are links. So these are actually separate pages. So we no longer have the case data loaded up when we go to the approved hours tab. So keep in mind, if you make a change here and you click off of it, that's not going to be there when you get back if you didn't click save. We are looking for a way to remind you that you're leaving a page and you didn't save your data, but we're not happy with the results of it yet, so we haven't implemented it. But just keep that in mind. Anytime you're clicking through these links, this is the only data that we're pulling in, and this is one thing that allows us to make the system a lot faster. So here, under the service authorizations, again, you got an action menu where you can add a service auth. You can look at all of your SA lists. So your red ones are still your expired ones. You can look at your active only. Again, we did this because some of these cases stay open for a pretty lengthy amount of time. You still click on the link and your service authorization details and your family member units are over to the right. Everything here is the same except for this field and this field. So we've added this feature. This is a carryover from our tier side. You can now set up an alert. So if you want to be alerted 5 days before this authorization expires, the system will now alert you. It's going to put it on a report, but it's also going to send a message to the message center for everybody that is assigned to this case and to the person who created the authorization. So in this case, if I had 5 people assigned to the case and it was created by somebody else, we're going to send out 6 dashboard alerts to say, hey, your SA 12456 is expiring in 5 days. This is going to allow you guys to manage and get ahead of expiring SAs, get with your case managers, make sure that you have ample enough time to get those new SAs in before services get interrupted. Your second one is if you want to be alerted at a number of units. You can do either or you can do both. So I've got this set at 5 and 3. So in this case, I would get an alert at 5 days before expiration, and I would get an alert at 3 units before expiration. Now, what we'll do is the system will just check these about every hour. So we'll run a job and it'll just check all of your SAs because it's one of those things, some units can change very, very frequently if you've got a lot of activity, if it's a lot of transportation, a lot of supervision, if it's a hoteling. And so we'll probably run the check every hour to alert. And then on the report, we have to filter things off of the report. So if you get an alert and you call your case manager and they say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and send you more units. Well, if you mark units requested, then we're pretty much going to disable all the notifications at that point. We'll take it off of the report. If this is an SA that you say, hey, we're not doing anything after these initial units run out, then you just let it expire and it rolls off the report as an expiration. So this new feature, I think everybody's really going to enjoy, and I think it's going to really help you keep a handle on your authorizations. On the documents, again, nothing special here. It's exactly the same options. You just get a different look when you drop a file in here. You get a modal window to edit the details of it before it goes into the system. Additional information, we were going to take this out, but there's still a few companies that use this. I don't know. I only think there's one company that uses GAF tracking, but again, we had to leave it. This is just where admins or staff can share information on the case. If you're one of those companies that likes to mark the SA as private so nobody can access it, this is where you would put that information to kind of share it with your staff. Family service plans are a thing that very few companies utilize on the DFAC side. They're utilized by everybody on the tier side, But anybody who wants to utilize a family service plan, all you got to do is let us know. And it's a simple configuration in your system that we just turn on. So when we turn it on, you get the option, and then it allows you to create family service plans with goals, objectives, and interventions, just like we're used to seeing on the tier side. These are family based, they're not individual based. We got a question yesterday to ask if we could make it individual based. And the recommendation we gave was that you make your goals member based. So if you had John Doe and Jane Doe, I could say this is John Doe's goal, this is Jane Doe's goal. Works just the same. You're just going to do it through a single family service plan. And then based off of these dates, when we get to the note, if you want to utilize this plan based off of the dates, we're going to pull in which of these plans you can actually utilize and select. And we'll show that on the note in just a second. So our note side has changed drastically. You guys are used to seeing your note list on the left hand of the screen and your note details on the right side of the screen. We have broken those out. So the reason we broke them out is because now we are able to directly link to a note. So from note summary, I can take you straight to that note. From other places in the system, I can go straight to a note. I don't have to go to the note list and then scroll down the list, find the note, click on the note, wait for the note to load. So we took a lot of steps out of that. So here we are going to look at this second note. Notice up at the top, our breadcrumb keeps changing. We went to case 25, notes, we're on note DOS 2825. If you wanted to go back to your notes, you just click on note. Now notice it's loading in the same page. So you have the option, if you want to open this note in a separate tab, you can middle click or say open link in new tab, and you can have both of them open so you can navigate back and forth. Maybe you want to keep your approved hours open and look at something, while you've also got the note open. That option is there if you need to do it. We're going to come back here and we're just going to do it on the normal way we would always do it. So when you come into your notes, we have consolidated many of the tabs at the top. You guys are used to seeing service, observation, mileage, etc. Service and observation have been consolidated into a note tab or a note link. Under this is everything that you guys used to toggle back and forth from on the first two tabs. We've laid out all your check boxes at the top. This information we tried to leave pretty similar flow wise. One thing we did is we moved the person served right next to the service type because that just made sense. In 2.0, the service type was on tab 1, the person served was at the top of tab 2. Well, if you ever got a validation and you were on the wrong tab, it just made it really confusing. So now when you pick your service, it automatically builds your list of your person served. The optional items are still the same. The service authorization used is the same. All this is telling us is we're utilizing one unit off of this SA. The family service plan, this changed a lot because this was very cumbersome in 2.0. It was a 3-step process. You picked your goal, you selected it, you saved it, then you picked your objective, you saved it, blah, blah, blah. Now I can remove the GOI if I want to. Simply doing that, it's gone. It tells me at the bottom that it was removed. I can use the action menu and select it, or to make it quicker, I can just click this link and notice how now I brought up all of your goals, all of your objectives, all of your interventions, all at one time. So if you have a large family plan or a treatment plan, you're going to see the entire plan here. I could have 5 goals with multiple objectives, multiple interventions. I could select at will. Notice that it will not let me select, below any of these without first selecting their parent object. So I can save it. It automatically added it to the note. This is so much faster, so much more pleasing to the eye. To me, this change and the way we change this on the tier note are two of the biggest changes that I think staff, especially staff who do a lot of notes with a lot of plans, are going to really like. And then below this is the observation that used to be on the other tab. So it's the same data in the same format. This is the standard format. If you have custom notes based off of your setup, you're going to see your custom note format, and then additional information in the penalty box are just like it was in the old system. Your mileage got renamed to trip. We just changed the wording on it. Your addresses have been put into a little blue box to kind of make them stand out a little better because of how you guys have to do that comparison to see, am I closer to home or am I closer to the office? But the mileage itself at the bottom functions exactly the same. You put in your addresses, your odometer, your purpose of trip. You don't have to fill in your ending odometer. You can click Get Map. It's going to calculate it for you. It's going to set it. I think we put in a couple of more validations here to stop some of the. We see a lot of errors where somebody puts too many zeros or too many ones on, and all of a sudden they have a 10,000 mile trip or a 1,000,000 mile trip. So we put a couple more validations in to try to keep those under control. Same validations pop up that tell you purpose of trip is required. It still does the same action. If you add a new one, it carries your data over from your starting point, and then you select the rest of it to fill in. So very similar to the old one. And then your alerts didn't change at all. If you add an alert, if you utilize your alert types, you have to pick those first before you put the alert in. So overall, the node experience and the case experience is going to be much quicker.
Now, we will review the scheduling section for the new version 3.0.
And then we got a brand new scheduler as well. So the old scheduler was a little small and a little tight. So this one's a little larger, a little bulkier. And you'll see why if you are a user of the scheduler when you get into the data. It just does a much better job. If you have 30 or 40 appointments on a day, it does a better job of showing you those appointments. But you have the same options, your month, day, week view. Your calendar options now come out from the side, so I can look at any location. I can look at the calendar for any staff. I can look at my staff PTO, my patient appointments, my cases, anything like that. If we click on an appointment, takes us to the day. Our appointment box looks very similar to what it did before, where you can put your staff, your date, your time, everything related to the appointment, if it's a telehealth appointment or not, so we can customize the text message reminder that goes out. So yeah, this was just pretty much a straight up conversion. But we did have to change the colors. The PTO used to be yellow and now it's red because the yellow didn't really play well with dark mode. So you can see how we had to kind of change up some colors when we go into dark mode. And then the last thing from the tier standpoint is going to be all the tier notes, all the tier reports that we have. So again, they're all down here at the bottom. If you happen to be a person and you say, I don't work on any of this defect stuff, I don't want to see any of these. I also don't want to see tier PMR. Then filter your list down, customize your list, add your favorites, do whatever you need to do to customize this so the report screen is what you need it to be. I don't believe I have forgotten anything. Do a quick glance. So yeah, at this point, I'm going to open it back up to the moderator.
Hello, my name is Brent Newsom, CEO of Inventia IT and founder of eCase Notes. Today we want to take a few minutes and show you some of the new features that you will soon see in eCase Notes 3.0. Our expert guides for each section of the system will be here to make it easy to navigate and learn.
As you can see, eCase 3.0 has a new look and feel with an interface designed with familiarity and simplicity in mind. The navigation menu has been rearranged for easier access. You now have the option to show or hide the menu with the collapsed view button in the bottom left. Plus, the menu is mobile-friendly, dropping into a hamburger menu for smaller screens. The Command Center is a new feature, located in the upper right corner of the screen. Here, you access dark mode, ideal for reducing eye strain in low light settings. Announcements are also conveniently located here, so you can review them at any time. The Message Center has been moved to the Command Center. Here, you'll get notifications for new messages and can view all alerts. Or click on the notification link that is underlined blue to go straight to the alerts that needs your attention. By clicking on your profile picture, you'll be able to access your profile, timesheets, help center, change your password, or sign out.
With cases and notes, we've made searching and filtering more efficient. Most searches are now in modal windows, so they don't take up full screen space. Searching for cases just got easier with our new filter search. Type in more specific search criteria in the filter box for narrowed down results. Additionally, we've introduced breadcrumb navigation, so as you progress through pages, you can quickly go back using the breadcrumb trail, no need to remember your last search. You'll notice action menus, represented by 3 dots, throughout the system, consolidating various functions that provide quick access to critical options, helping you manage settings and maintain data seamlessly.
Quick links can be found in the top right-hand corner by clicking the 9 dots. Here you have links to all important jump to links, patient information, and necessary reports. With the new eCase, we wanted to minimize the hassle and scrolling. This arrow on the bottom right can help with just stop, with options to go back to top, history, cancel, or save. The treatment plan has been updated with easier accessibility and data entry. Now you can view all of the patient's plans, goals, objectives, and interventions. To view, edit, or add information, click the blue titles or the action menus next to them.
You can enter your criteria in the search pop-up on the right. The results in our new search widget let you quickly remove search items without reopening the search screen. The scheduling section in 3.0 has a streamlined layout that's optimized for both desktop and mobile, so you can manage appointments from any device.
We've made it easier to access your favorite reports in no time. You can now favorite reports so they appear at the top for quick access and workflow. Additionally, the system will track your 10 most used reports and have them at the top for your convenience. By clicking the action menu, you can hide or show specific categories of reports to keep your view focused and organized.
Well, what do you think? We are so excited for you to see it all and see that eCase Notes is still the best at what we do.